This video discusses all maps in Forsaken, not just current maps, but also private server exclusive maps, removed maps, scrap maps, and developer exclusive maps. If you want to see your Roblox topic covered next, comment it down below and hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this. Current maps. Brandonworks, the map carried by the castle ramp that's very annoying to counter as a killer. It's based on a Roblox ARG on YouTube named Brandonworks. It features multiple different elements from all the games included in the ARG. It also has arguably the best map ambience in the game. The map has 3 generators and 4 different areas, which are the castle, cave slope, why capture the flag corners, and Brandon World. There are also 4 items on this map. Being a survivor on this map is pretty easy. They don't have a ranged attack that can go up or down. Now, if you're a killer on this map and you don't have a projectile that can do that, good luck. The only thing you can do is use Cool Kids Pizza Bots or the 1x Resurrection. Here's a couple of fun facts. Making your camera face the woods plays a distorted sound. And the map used to have you clean graffiti off walls as an objective, but it was removed and replaced with generators. Missed opportunity. The maps would be a lot more interactive if the objectives actually had something to do with the map. In the corner of the map under the construction zone, there's a yellow bouncy castle that is part of a recurring joke in the ARG, where Ozolog 1 would try and quote-unquote conquer it. Yorick's resting place is based on the iconic game created by Roblox admins in 2006, and it was later used in the 2008 Halloween event. This map is pretty standard for both survivors and killers. The poison's not really that big of a deal, and I guess you could use the cliff to try and escape the killer, but if they catch you, it's game over. If you're using guests, then you can charge and push the killer off the ledge. The map has 5 generators in 3 areas: Yorick's house, graveyard, and the temple on a cliff. There are also 4 items on this map. Unfortunately, there's no cool effect or anything that happens if you use 2 times Yorick's skin here, I think. Glass Houses is one of those maps that, if handled poorly, can be a nightmare for killers. This map is a somewhat tree-filled forest with 2 mountains that are connected with a glass bridge, and they have glass buildings on top. The right mountain allows players to go up a staircase, and it's commonly used for survivors to escape the killer, similar to the way survivors escape in Brandonworks. The left mountain is hollow and has a staircase that the player can use. For some reason, I often forget this part of the map even exists. There are 4 main areas: Jail Mountain, Glass Intersection, Cave, and Steep Mountain. The map is mostly an open space, so survivors generally just camp the staircases, but if you're a 7 and 7 and the killer is Cool Kid, you should win pretty easily. Just go hide in the corner and use the clone ability and repeat, because 7 and 7 is basically a direct counter to Cool Kid since he doesn't really have an ability that allows him to see exactly where a survivor is unless you somehow get hit by a pizza bot, which if you do, then you deserved it. Also, this map's name is clickbait. You can't really enter any of the actual glass houses. It's really just mountains with glass houses on them. There's an older version of this map called Old Glass Houses, but I'll talk about that later. Horror Hotel is based on a Roblox horror game series by Joshman601 called Horror Hotel Part 1 and Part 2. I don't know much about the game series, but the name of this map is misinformation. I don't see a single staircase or elevator to make this an actual hotel. It's more like a horror motel. There are 6 areas: the outdoor field, halls, play area, kitchen, well, and small rooms. Don't try to use this wall to juke the killer. Trust me, it doesn't work. One of the hallways contains zombie arms, and stepping on these arms will give you slowness 3 for 3 seconds, which can be a very long time if you're being chased. These can be used to your advantage. They override any slow debuff you currently have, meaning if you had slowness 2 for 15 seconds, running through the arms changes it to slowness 3 for 3 seconds. Most of the generators in this map are in their own separate small rooms, allowing survivors to get to them more easily without being seen. But the one that's in the open in the play area can be a nightmare because there's almost no cover to hide you from the killer. The ball pit part of the play area is usually a hotspot for survivors, since Builderman usually puts his turret there to surprise the killer and slow them down. This plan comes crashing down the second the killer grows a brain and uses either pizza bots or resurrection minions to go through one side of the ball pit while the killer goes on the other side. This map also has a ton of references about other horror media, but I'll let you find those for yourself. Yes, I'm gatekeeping. Go play the game. Planet Voss is based on a game made by Koopa in 2008 called Planet Voss Gateway Park. This is the second worst map in Forsaken. It used to be first, but another map in this video took its place. Why is this map so bad? One word: trees. Their sole purpose in this game is to block the killer's vision. Survivors aren't safe either. You could be doing a generator and suddenly get hit by a projectile that wasn't even meant for you because the map is 90% flat. And the only non-flat parts are the spaceships, but genuinely, if you're caught in one by a killer, you might as well reset. Being a John Doe on this map is borderline unplayable. Nobody's stupid enough to go into the spaceships, so you can really only use digital footprint on generators. The only survivor that would utilize spaceships is 7-7, since they can just hide while a killer like Cool Kid chases their clone. This is one of those maps where if you're a Cool Kid and the last survivor standing is 7-7, you might as well give up. There are 5 generators in 4 areas: center arch or arc, mini fortresses, mini spaceships, and killer only gateways. There are also 5 items on this map. Just like glass houses, there is an older version of Planet Voss called Old Planet Voss. Also, you used to be able to go behind the spaceships, which was removed because some of the killers couldn't fit behind the spaceship. Ultimate Assassin Grounds is based on a classic Roblox game that had the same name. There are 3 generators in 7 areas: cave, dojo, rundown house, target practice area, lake, obstacle course above water, and 2 connected brown houses. The generators in this map are fairly easy to get to and risk-free, unlike Planet Voss. Before it was reworked, this map was torture for anyone unfortunate enough to be Jason. Inside the dojo, there was a staircase that survivors would camp, and there were also other spots survivors could use in the house to escape. Fortunately for Jason, these have been fixed, with most of these escapes being blocked off. Also, the cave was changed to include an opening in the center. John Doe can never really catch a break since the water in this map causes slowness. If John Doe walks through it, the slowness caused by the lake combined with the slowness caused by his trail makes him walk even slower. Abuse this while you still can because technically it is a bug that is going to be fixed. Probably. Pirate Bay is one of 2 new maps, and it's the best of the 2 by far. It's currently the only map in the game that has weather, which is rainy and stormy. It also has multiple ships along the shorelines that you can't enter, several barricades, several different structures, some trees, puddles of water that can give a bleeding debuff, a giant orange kraken in the ocean that's probably responsible for the broken ships, and a giant skull carved into the mountain. This is probably the best looking map in the game, and it's not as unfair as the other map that came in this update. There are also 5 generators and 5 items. This map has a ton of elevation, so evading killer projectiles should be easy. Also, killers can just run through the puddles of water. They have enough health to tank it. There's also a lot of graffiti around the map that references killers, survivors, and even upcoming killers. Don't let the appearance fool you. This map also makes John Doe suffer, and if there's a highly competent 7-7 player, you aren't winning no matter what killer you choose. Underground War is 1x's kryptonite. It feels like this map was created for a double killers game mode because it's so large. The map is so big that using Unstable Eye is basically useless because the survivor's either out of range, or when you do think you've got them, they're on the other side of the map. Anyone using 7-7 gets a free win. They don't even have to try. Survivors can also hear the killer's terror radius if they're below or above them. The only real downside survivors get in this map is that the underground is like 70% dead ends. Stamina is a big problem for killers because survivors on other floors are close enough to drain the killer's stamina. Even without the stamina drain, the size of this map makes it feel they can run forever. Anyways, there are 3 areas: the surface, the underground, and the flag capture points. Also, this map is based on the Underground War, an iconic and old Roblox game created by Stickmaster Luke. This map would probably be a lot better if the underground didn't exist. Also, if you're really unlucky, you can spawn in the killer's terror radius and be taken out of the round pretty early. If you've made it this far, comment below your favorite Forsaken map and why. And while we're at it, be sure to hit that subscribe button with your nose. I'm almost certain the majority of you can't even do it, but let's try to hit 50k by the end of the week. Anyway, private server exclusive maps. Swordfight on the Heights, commonly known as SFOTH, is based on an iconic game of the same name made by Shedletsky, the admin, not the survivor. There are 4 areas: disappearing platforms, map center, 4 stud-wide paths, and stairway. Unfortunately, none of the original gameplay elements from the actual game are in this map. Also, if you fall off the map, you will be teleported to one of the 6 spawn points. But if you do this too much, the game's anti-cheat will think you're flying and you'll be kicked. The ambience on this map is named May the Heights Collapse, and it's from Combat Initiation. This map is also one of the only maps in the game that has no dark fog covering it. Also, this map was used to create 1x's intro. Haunted Mansion is based on another game that Shedletsky created. It has 4 areas: Haunted Mansion, Pumpkin Patch, Playground, and Underground. The mansion sits on a large hollowed out mountain. This is the only map in the game to have a flashlight item. Too bad it's a private server exclusive map. Actually, I think Underground War has permanently damaged everyone's opinions on underground sections of maps. The ambience in this map is the same as in Yorick's resting place. The objective is the same as old planet Voss's. Now that I think about it, there's no completely outdoor map in the game yet. Not that this is an outdoor map either. Area 51 is based on the game Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51 by Homer Mafia 1. I retract my previous statement, this is a completely indoor map. This map is going to be added to public servers when it is finished in the future. Currently, there are only two areas, the center room and the purplish center room. When it is added to the game, it's probably going to have a lot of mixed feedback. Survivors like Shedlesky can jump out and stun killers, and there are a lot of ways to loop killers. But on the other hand, this is the perfect map for John Doe since he can block off the paths with corrupt energy. This is also most likely the map used to create Jason's intro. There's a special mechanic where, after all the generators are completed, all the closed doors in the map will open. Why are all the cool mechanics locked behind private servers? Template Town was available during the playtest period of the game, but it was removed and then brought back as an admin and a private server exclusive map. The current ambience sounds like it came straight from a 2016 Roblox Tycoon, because it did. This will likely be changed in the future as it's just a placeholder because the creator of the old ambience wanted all their music removed, including the old ambience. The map consists of walls, structures, textureless cars, burning barrels, large ramps, huge towers, and trees. This map unironically looks more fun to play on than Underground War. Can you tell I don't like Underground War? This is the oldest available map in the game, and it was the first proper map added. Generator Hell got its name because it has 8 generators that you have to unlock one by one, and they progressively get more difficult as you go until you complete the final generator. There are only 2 areas, generators 1 to 8 and trophy. The actual map is a small green baseplate with 8 sealed off sections that each contain a generator. At the very end, there's a golden statue. The generators in this map are different from the current ones. In these generators, you have to turn all the red squares green by clicking on them. Sounds easy, right? No, it's actually extremely difficult. Probably a good thing the devs decided not to use these generators anymore and instead replace them with the ones we know now. Generator Hell 2 is literally the exact same as Generator Hell 1, but this time with the current generators instead of the old ones. Removed maps. C00l Carnival was accidentally removed when the 2-type update was released. There are 4 areas: entrance, exhibit, attractions, and Ferris wheel. The entire map is themed around Draco Bloxers because Cool Kid, the creator of this carnival, went through a Draco Bloxer phase. This is one of the smallest and most densely packed maps in the game. This might be one of the only maps where John Doe is actually really good. Usually there are a lot of problems, but with the map being so small and densely packed, corrupt energy would do really well here. As for survivors, with the map being so small, doing generators is always very risky, and if you're unlucky enough to get trapped by John Doe's corrupt energy, you might as well give up. Guess 1337 is a good survivor to use on this map since there's a lot of corners and twists he can use to surprise the killer. This map will most likely be added back to the game, and it might even be reworked when it comes back. Old glass houses resembles the source material more than the current one. There is dark fog, fallen trees, burning barrels, and no cannons or jump pads. There's also broken glass around the map, a damaged desk in the blue glass cave, and parts of the red glass bridge are broken. There are 4 main areas: blue glass bridge, blue glass cave, red glass bridge, and red glass cave. This map also has no objectives, and it's one of the only 2 maps in the game without any ambience, the other being template. Old planet Voss is still pretty similar to the current one, but it has some noticeable changes. There are mirrors that killers can go through, the red and blue spaceships are much bigger, the map as a whole is much bigger, and there's a giant crater in the middle of the map. There are 3 areas: Red's base, Blue's base, and Control Center. For some reason, this map was removed from the command panel, so good luck getting it. It also used to have the old objective of completing 8 pumpkins instead of doing the generators. Scrap maps. Snowball Brawl 1 was based on a game featured in the Sealed Directory web series. It was scrapped due to permissions for Sealed Directory being pulled from the game. Since the map was scrapped, there's not much information on it. The only area we know it had was Seal's cabin. It sucks that this map was scrapped. A winter-based map would have been cool. There would probably be white fog instead of the dark fog in every public map, and maybe even snow footprint sounds. Pet Noonie Simulator is based on a game with the same name. It was scrapped for the same reason as Snowball 1. Permissions from the PNS team were pulled, Noonie got exposed, and his game was cancelled because of it. Judging by the single teaser the map had, it most likely would have been a forest type map. Also, it appears to have weather in the form of rain, just like Pirate Bay. The ambience is called Melancholy, but the composer is unknown. This is also the second best ambience for a map, and since this map is unsavable, the ambience should definitely be used for another map. Developer exclusive maps. Baseplate is the map where you see all those upcoming killers and features. It's just a flat baseplate with dummies around the map for testing and various survivor and killer rigs. This includes upcoming survivors. There are parts that can change your team, parts for map creation, kill bricks, and 6 survivor NPCs used to test killer attacks. One of these NPCs are named Noob that has 10,000 health. There's also the hand-powered recovery center from Battle for Dream Island, and an AO Oni model at the map spawn location. Does this confirm a Battle for Dream Island collab or an AO Oni killer? Probably not, but come back to this in the future if I'm wrong. Template is the oldest map in the game. It also has a special objective where you collect unused totems. The only area in this map is the Brandonworks raised area. This is because the map holds buildings that can be used in other maps. Other than that, this is just a flat base plate with some stuff on it. Not very eventful. If you like this video, you will definitely love this video on screen. Comment below what Roblox topic you want to see explained next, and be sure to subscribe since we are really close to 50k. See you back here soon.